Taylor, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Tell me about your African Uber driver.
Oh yeah, this was like 2 months ago now that I was in an Uber heading to a buddy's house, hang out, pool day. Had to Uber because it was in the middle of St. Louis's absurd heat wave where we were the hottest place in the country for like 6 weeks, and my AC went out in my car, and so I was like, I'm not driving and dying in my car on the way there, and so I ordered an Uber, and it's this African guy who's my Uber driver, and immediately, like, he's already on the phone when he picks me up, and he like stops for 1 second to be like, do you mind if I continue to speak on the phone? And I was like, no, not at all. And so I just got like a 25-minute ride from this guy. By the way, he took the absolute longest way to my friend's house. I tried like at least 2 times to be like, you want to take a right here? We didn't take a right there. You want to go straight? And we turned there. We went through like neighborhoods. But this guy, he was like, must have been something of a relationship
that
guru.
Would upset me.
Well, he was interesting. He was on the phone, clearly talking to first a man for most of the car ride, and clearly this man was confiding in him about his relationship problems, and they're both Nigerian or something. And so he had all these like funny tips. Like the big tip that I remember him saying over and over was like, you are allowing a woman in your own house to dictate to you what you do and what you do not do. This is something that to me is entire nonsense. That is why you are in this situation. This situation has happened to you because she is in your house and she is telling you and you are listening to her. You do not allow her in your house to dictate the rule. He said dictate a lot. To dictate the rules to you.
I'm with him. I'm on board with him because I'm picturing a scenario where like, yeah, you can move in with me. And she's like, hey, clean your shit up. Hey, get your towels off the floor. Hey, come in here. Like fucking, what are you doing? You left your dish on the table? Yeah, it's my fucking table, my fucking dish.
Yeah. He
smash.
Like, this guy was traditional as shit. Very traditional Nigerian man. He's like, she is not meant to be in your house instructing you. You are to lead her in the house. When you are in the house, you are in charge. And so you do not listen to her. You are listen. And then he'll be like, listen to me. Listen to what I am saying to you. I say again, when she dictates to you and you listen to this, you are not taking your power as a man. Your power as a man, that is your house. That is your home. You are the head of the snake or whatever the fuck.
I like that. Stay with that.
I added that bit in.
The head of this what?
You are the head of the snake.
Oh, okay.
That's the head of the snake. And now it will become a Celia boy.
I like
you are the locomotive on this train.
If the head follows the tail, what would happen?
What would happen? No, you cannot. You are having problem in relationship because she does not respect you. You are allowing her to be in a part of the relationship that she as a woman should not be a part of. And it was like, I wish I could hear the other guy's point, like all the stuff he was complaining about. But I'd like to say, I think I learned stuff from him. I think I learned a lot about Nigerian masculinity. And I think I'm going to take that to the bank next time I'm in a serious relationship. And never allow a woman in my house to tell me how I must behave. Never.
Well, I'm with Magumbo here. That sounds pretty good to me.
I gave him a good tip and 5 stars.
On the surface. I don't like him driving you all around town. I did not put up with
that. But like at the end of it, I was fine with like 4 extra minutes of driving to get a little more insight. Yeah.
That's fair.
But then at the end, clearly a woman was on the phone. And so I think he was like mitigating a familial conflict with someone that he knew. Like he was the guru handing out life lessons to people. And I didn't really catch much of the woman.
I would have got a second.
Like, hey,
you know what? Take me back. I want to hear you tell her.
Yes.
You are just a woman. It is your job to shut your trap.
Yeah, that's what it was. He like gives the guy like all this build up advice, and then for the woman, he's like, "You are a despicable witch. I am going to kill you because you step out of line in your house with your husband." So I assume it was husband and wife. They're pretty traditional over there, I think. pretty Christian,
think
mostly in
So
Nigeria.
you think you picked up a few things from them? Yeah, I think of
Hope
them
so.
as Catholic or definitely Christian in some way or another.
Yeah, they're one
I
of the
had
more
Nigerian.
Christian. I think not super.
I worked with a
Muslim.
Nigerian guy. He had his name was like Alexander or something. He had like a very white name, and I just
Oh, never
remember he
mind.
was like really good with the ladies. He was a good looking guy. He was a big dude, and he called pussy cuckoo. He's like, I know how to please the cuckoo. The cuckoo tried to get away from me sometimes. I do not let it. He's like calling him a whole maneuver.
From this
He's
point
like,
going forward, I also call pussy cuckoo.
yeah.
Oh,
He's like,
little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
he's explaining how he'd like put a couple of pillows and pile them up and kind of put that around the lady's waist so her butt would be up. He's like, but then you grab the pillow and the cuckoo cannot get away. He was just always talking about like really getting after some cuckoo.
And
That was
she's
his jam.
already woozy from the head injury. She does not have a chance to escape my Uber.
Yeah, I don't like them driving me around. Again, I don't take Ubers very much, but usually when I do, it's because I'm dropping something off, like a U-Haul or something, and I know the way home. So I know if they're jerking me around. I wouldn't like that very much.
But wait, am I mistaken? I thought the price was agreed on beforehand.
For
So
Uber,
they're not jerking
it
you
is.
around like a taxi driver, like price wise.
Yeah, no, it didn't get more expensive. It just like I would look at my app and it's like, oh, we're
No.
not arriving at 12:05 anymore. We're arriving at 12:10.
He's just inexplicably taking a different route.
Just inexplicable. He went away. I'd never considered going to my friend's
I hate
house.
that even more.
It's frustrating.
Like you're
Yeah.
not even profiting from this. You're just wasting.
He was not.
our
Paying,
time.
he was paying no attention to the drive. I could have been holding him at gunpoint in the back, and he would not have known. He was very into this conversation. I just looked at
Excuse me, sir.
Nigeria's
You cannot
religious.
pull a gun in my car.
Yeah.
This is my
cannot
car. It is
dictate to me.
disrespectful.
Yeah, you cannot dictate to me in my Uber, even if you have a gun. Like now that I looked at Nigeria's religious breakdown, it seems more likely he was Muslim because they're like 50-50, and he was
My guy
coming in
definitely was
pretty
not.
hard with the woman stuff, and that seems to go with Islam.
Yeah, but or in common sense in general, like it does sound like it does sound like his girlfriend is like kind of bossing him around at his house, and I think
Yeah.
your Uber driver was on to something.
I think he was too.
Why are men better at everything? What is with that?
I think it's just
Because historically, if you weren't at least good at something as a man, you
You've been
probably
fucked.
weren't going to have any children and pass your DNA along for one reason or another. You had to be good at something. But as a lady,
yeah.
Solid.
Are you there?
I
That's
saw
true.
women complaining about men competing in their sport. They said it was absolutely unfair and that we can't, like, if this trans woman, born a man, now a woman, is competing against us, it's not fair. But that sport was fishing. And I'm like, why are men better at fishing? Why do women think it's not even fair
It's
to
not even
compete
close.
against men in fishing?
not even close
Yeah.
how much better men are at fishing.
It
than
was
women.
freshwater fishing, mind you. It's not like they were catching giant
not
marlin.
brave.
That's
in
the
the
hard
seas.
kind. The deep water fishing's easy. You're just like, let's wait. The freshwater's when they're doing all those fancy casts and picking the right bait for the sun and the water and the cover and the fish. Like that's.
I just
there's some
imagine
shit going
bringing
on.
in a marlin might give a strength advantage to a guy. But if the fish weighs 6 pounds or 4 pounds, then women are strong
Yeah.
enough.
Men destroy
Men just
women
like
in-
tend
in
to
bass fishing
obsess over
tournaments.
things much more, and so any hyper specific hobby, you're gonna have way more men than women who are interested in it. Like I would imagine, and also you're
Yeah.
right about the ancestor thing. Like I think we have like tons of men just throughout history just did not fuck and have kids.
Here's the
Tons
thing.
of them.
You ever
most
hear
women
someone
did.
say, "Yeah, he's just talented at that thing." You know
Yeah.
why? Because his great grandfather was talented at that thing, and that means he got to fuck a lot. There's a lot of people who are talented at jumping because their ancestors were too, and the guys
Mhm.
who weren't good at jumping just couldn't get away from that thing, or maybe they just couldn't catch a woman to rape her. Frankly, it might have been that.
You think Thor Bjornsson was the first strong guy in his family? Like
lineage?
no, he came
his
from a
family
whole
is
line of
terrifying.
absolute monsters. Like you go
They're
back
taller than him. His
400
brothers are taller.
years. Yeah, you go
Really?
back 400 years, and he's like storming a monastery on the coast
My
of England.
God. He would be.
robbing
See,
them.
he's like a superpower in a world where you don't have machinery and like and electronics and
Mhm.
stuff. Like he shows up twice as 3 times, 4 times as strong as any other human being. Like the doors can't stop him. He's so big.
I wonder
they're
what he'd look
trained
like
to have a
without steroids.
Kenyon's rocket
Let's
running.
agree he'd be just as tall and he'd be very
Yeah.
strong.
Right.
But without steroids, how big would he be?
I mean,
He wouldn't. I mean, he'd still be that tall and
like ancient Viking Thor. Like I think he'd be the perfect big for smashing people. Like whatever that would be.
for
but he'd be
stealing
it.
golden crucifixes from
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
from
it was
religious sites.
so
His body's
scary.
not the ideal for fighting.
No, it's
Right?
the ideal for moving
know.
weight.
I don't know
Yeah.
what fighting meant for them though. Like I don't think
Right?
it meant squaring up necessarily as much as it meant chasing people down with an axe.
Yeah.
And just the Vikings would just roll up on your shore and you didn't know you had trouble with Vikings. You might not even know what a Viking is. You may have never seen a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white dude that's 6'2", but there he is with all of his buddies. They just rolled up and they're here and they don't want to talk. Like they're hacking the door down, screaming in fucking Scandinavian.
They're
I
here for your
imagine
research.
a Roman skilled with a spear beats him. Picture
I mean, they did.
the poison guy from Game of Thrones.
The
played
Red
Last
Viper of
of Us.
Dorne,
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. All right. His character, I think, could beat Thor. There's some dude like that was just
So
agile and
interestingly
good with a
enough,
spear.
that's
Oh, he
have you seen the whole trend of people being the girls ask their boyfriends, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And
yes.
they're like, I don't know, like a couple times a week, maybe.